Welcome to Screen Hollywood, the home of movie news and entertainment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
What's up, movie fans, and welcome back to Screen Hollywood. I'm your host, Adam. If you're new here, welcome to the Hollywood family. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and hype button so you never miss an update. Also, bookmark and subscribe to our international news publication at screenhollywood.com for the latest entertainment and news info first. The Predator franchise is on fire right now. Dan Trachtenberg is killing it, first with the masterpiece that was Prey, and now with the fantastic Predator Badlands, currently tearing up the box office. The universe is expanding, the lore is deepening, and the hunt is more exciting than it's been in decades. But with every new entry, one giant, muscular, Austrian-accented shadow looms over the franchise. One question that echoes in the comments of every trailer and every review. Where is Dutch? What happened to Major Alan Dutch Schaefer? For almost 40 years, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the man who went toe-to-toe with the original Yautja and won, has been conspicuously absent from the franchise he helped build. Today, we're not just asking the question, we're answering it. This is the full, untold story of the near misses, the bad deals, the political campaigns, and the flat-out insults that have kept Arnold away from one of his most iconic roles. And more importantly, we're going to talk about why the tide is finally turning for the great return of Dutch. So, let's get to the chopper and get into the facts.
To understand the absence, you have to understand the impact of the original. 1987's Predator was a lightning-in-a-bottle classic. It starts as a hyper-macho 80s action flick and slowly descends into a terrifying sci-fi slasher movie. At the center of it all was Dutch, the cigar-chomping leader of an elite special forces team who has to devolve from a modern soldier into a primal warrior to survive. It's an iconic role, and a sequel seemed like a no-brainer. So, what happened with 1990's Predator 2? Well, director Stephen Hopkins absolutely wanted him back. But, according to Hopkins, he believes Arnold's heart was set on another, even bigger sequel at the time. Terminator 2: Judgment Day. And you can't really argue with that choice. T2 became one of the biggest and best action films of all time. But franchise producer John Davis tells a slightly different and frankly more believable Hollywood story. He told Collider years later that it all came down to money. He said, and I quote, "We should have had Arnold in the movie. The deal broke down over $250,000, which is a shame." Let that sink in. A deal to bring back the face of the franchise fell apart over what amounts to the catering budget on a modern blockbuster. That was the first major fumble. The next time Dutch almost returned was for a project that was, shall we say, ambitious. When 20th Century Studios was mounting the crossover event Alien vs. Predator in the early 2000s, they knew they needed some star power to anchor it. Director Paul W.S. Anderson got in touch with Arnie, who was actually up for a cameo. But he had two conditions. In a move so brazen, so perfectly Arnie, you have to respect it. First, the cameo had to be filmed at his home. Second, and this is the big one, he had to lose his 2003 election to become the governor of California. As we all know, he won that race in a landslide, and his cameo was consigned to the great what-if bin of movie history. Politics got in the way of the hunt. The franchise then went dormant for a bit, before Robert Rodriguez spearheaded 2010's Predators. Arnold was reportedly considered for a role in that film, and he even confirmed in 2011 that a Predator script was one of many on his desk after his time as governor ended. But again, it never came to fruition, and the film went on to feature a new cast of characters on a Predator game preserve planet. But the closest we ever came, the one that feels like the biggest missed opportunity, and frankly, the biggest insult to Arnold, was for Shane Black's 2018 film, The Predator. Black confirmed he met with Schwarzenegger about a role, but it was a small one. It was essentially a cameo at the end of the film. According to Black, he felt embarrassed to even ask, saying, "When you call Mr. Schwarzenegger, you don't want to say, 'Hey, we got this smaller role for you if you want it.' And Arnold's reaction was exactly what you'd expect from a star of his stature. He told Black, "Look, if I was featured more, yeah, but what you're suggesting is that you're creating this new thing and just using me to bless it." He wasn't wrong. Arnold saw it for what it was. The studio wanted to use his iconic status as a cheap marketing gimmick to legitimize their new movie, without giving him a meaningful role. He wisely and respectfully turned it down. Now, thanks to leaks and concept art, we know exactly what that scrapped ending would have been. In the theatrical cut, the survivors are gifted a suit of Predator killer armor. It's a bit silly. The alternate ending, the one with Dutch, had him arriving by chopper, stepping out of the shadows, and inviting the survivors to join his team to hunt predators. It would have been an electrifying, goosebumps moment that would have set up a true, epic sequel. Instead, we got an Iron Man suit. They insulted the man, and they robbed the fans. After that, things went quiet. Then came Dan Trachtenberg. His 2022 masterpiece, Prey, was set in the 18th century, making a return for Dutch logically impossible. And this brings us to the present. The animated anthology film, Predator, Killer of Killers, which dropped earlier this year, did something fascinating. In a newly added epilogue, it was revealed that the Predators have a trophy room of living captives kept in suspended animation. And who do we see? Naru from Prey, Mike Harrigan from Predator 2, and yes, Major Dutch Schaefer. They officially brought him back into the canon and created the perfect sci-fi explanation for how a 70-plus-year-old Arnold could believably return to the fight. And now, the gears are finally turning. Predator Badlands producer Ben Rosenblatt recently called a potential Schwarzenegger return the holy grail of Predator movies. He confirmed that Arnold has met with Dan Trachtenberg and is a real fan of what he's doing with the franchise. Rosenblatt said, "Hopefully we'll have a chance to do something with Arnold, because that would be awesome." Folks, this isn't just studio talk anymore. Behind the scenes, Arnie has been watching. He sees the quality, he sees the respect for the lore, and he has a tremendous relationship with Dan Trachtenberg, who has now cemented himself as the new master of the Predator universe. The conditions are finally right. He's not being asked to film a cameo at his house or to bless a movie he has no stake in. He's being courted by a director who gets it, for a franchise that is creatively healthy for the first time in decades. It is no longer a question of if Dutch will return. It is simply a question of when. And our sources are telling us, don't be surprised if Dutch's epic, long-awaited return is the focus of the very next Predator movie. The 40-year wait is almost over. The only question left is, what would that story be? A grizzled, older Dutch leading a new team of hunters? A rescue mission to free him from a Yautja trophy ship? Let me know in the comments what you think the ultimate Dutch Predator movie would be about. As always, if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Screen Hollywood, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. I'm Adam, and I'll see you at the movies.